Welcome back, everyone. So let's remove the bookmark and continue our story. So, Liberators. As Cal has sat upon the throne and is now consciousness is forming into the arcana of the magic within Duskhaven, seeming to brush up against the bottom of the Corporus Arcana, as his will seems to be shifted up there, guided by the power of Nyx. Slowly seeing Judean Sunfell pull out the shard, and the energy of the Corporus wane as it begins to descend slowly. But the rest of you in battle with Deja Vu and the two succubi. We go to the top of the round, which is Deja Vu. So, hidden within the trees, battling with Duran, they will have to make a saving throw, wisdom, I believe. And 28, that's a success. They take 10 points of radiant damage as Deja's like, oh, they are not this again, as they are bombarded by all of the creatures and unicorns and trees that are hitting them, blending in within the trees that are within this perimeter. Deja will back away. You can do an opportunity attack as they are backing up far, but you can use your reaction.
Duran, of course, will use his reaction to try to swing because he is enraged trying to fight Deja.
Okay, 28 hits.
And it does 1d6 kinetic slash damage.
All right, so Deja, do you apply sneak attack for this? Because yes, you have advantage on it.
Sneak.
And 12 extra points of damage into Deja Vu. All right, great. Not expecting you to hit them, Deja Vu was like, calm down there, big boy. Well, since you're so spicy, I think we should heat things up. As Deja Vu lifts their finger into the air. You really can't see this, Duran, as it's all within the trees and they're hiding between it. You see what you do see is a huge ball of energy form off into a distance, giving off an intense amount of heat. They release this ball of energy from their fingertips that erupts into flames, and Duran, you immediately feel an intense amount of heat coming your way. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw. But since you're within the trees and all that, you have to do it at a disadvantage. 20. Very nice. That is a success. Okay. So, you kind of look around and you just see this inferno start blazing towards you. You're easily able to you're nimble enough to swoosh between the different trees and other things and hide behind one before it explodes off, igniting the forest area that you're standing in. But you do take some of the heat damage, in total of 16 points of damage, halved since you succeeded.
Awesome. I take those into my temporary hit points.
And you kind of think you see in the distance Deja just make where they were standing before, and then all of a sudden when you blink again, they vanish.
Where are you? Fight me! Fight me, you coward!
Kind of echoing around within the forest itself. Catch me if you can, Duran. Let's see how well you do. You can't see your target. And they will end their turn there. Up next is Balin. Balin's in the air and still blinded. Can't do much. Can't see. They're just gonna fly back. You hear Balin go, Deja, use some magic. Get this off of us. What are you doing? And Balin is just going to flail around and move back about 30 feet. Sister, please! Up next is Duran.
Oh, did they save at the end of their turn?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me. And it is a what check again?
It is a DC 20 Constitution saving throw.
Natural 20 or 21.
That'll do it.
And they go, and Balin moves his hands over his eyes as the darkness begins to wafт away. And he looks around. I can see. Oh, thanks to you, Deja. I'll kill these twerps myself, sister. And then that's where they'll end. So Duran, you go ahead and start your turn.
I have a 19 too, so...
Oh, yes, that's right. As you discussed, you can... So, Duran, Monaco, and King, you all go at the same exact time, so you can choose your order. And it sounds like, King, you wish to go first?
Yes, please. I'm going to hold my hand to my heart and through my link, and through my mental links with our rings of sending, and as well as my bond with the Stellai, and say to him, don't give in. Your friends need you. Hal needs you. This city needs you, and I need you. Come to me, my love. Follow me. And I would like to cast Dimension Door, which is normally a self-cast on myself, but for him, and open a fairy ring and have a whole bunch of magic mushrooms appear in a circle for him to walk through and appear next to me, and a similar one will appear at my feet. Come to me. Step through the doorway. Don't let it consume you.
Using the bond between the two of you, although you felt it waver before, nevertheless, you feel the strength of it. You steel your resolve and connect to your Stellus. Duran, you hear these words echo in your head, and you're going mad. Duran, can I please have you roll me a wisdom saving throw at advantage?
16, and I'd like to actually use my Rabu bonus.
Alrighty. Roll that d8.
A 3, bringing it up to a 19.
19. Alright. So, you hear the words echo, and the fog that's been covering your eyes, focusing nothing on Deja as you're recklessly attacking, and you're in the midst of this flames. You see that the fire is starting to go up and ignite. Before it starts to burn you, you hear this voice, and you see beneath you on your feet a ring of mushrooms and other other flora within this little tranquil forest area that you stand that's now burning up appear, pushing away the flames that are creeping up on you and dying it down. And you start to see that the effect lulls over the entirety of the forest, and all the flames that Deja had created just go off, and a cooling wind brushes against it all, putting out the flames. And then you see that circle of fairy ring appear beneath your feet, and you are just pulled in and drifting throughout this celestial energy that King is using, and appear right next to him, and within the same square as.
And as he walks through, I'll have the 2 seeds, and I'll put one in my mouth, and I'll put the other one in his mouth.
Okay. So I'm assuming you accept this gift, Duran?
Duran accepts it, and he bites into the fruit and relishes it, with also relishing coming back into King's energy. Okay.
You both feel the energy of Eustacia course throughout your veins, and it feels like home, King. You've been where this fruit. You've tried this fruit before. Yes, it's the fruit of ambrosia that courses through the gods of old's veins, through your veins. You've tasted it several times. You've had snacks and meals with your favorite of the Prolefsi, as you listen to the stories of Corellin as he preached to the gods, and all that flushes through your mind as the memories of Myliki, she is a Prolefsi, float throughout your brain, and you gain a level, and you are now 14 and then some.
Nice.
Duran, you also feel the energy, and you connect with King, experiencing this all, but your memory goes a little bit further. Is it like a premonition, a future? You're not sure, some type of portent, but you see yourself standing upon the gates of Eustacia, holding hands with. It's blurry, you can't make it out. It's definitely King, but something's different. It's comforting, and any type of chaos that was on you, your blade resonates, and the chaotic energy that was on the blade kind of changes and fluctuates. It's still there, but there's more order to it, more lawful. Underneath all that chaos, there's a center of law and righteousness, and you can use that, and you're no longer underneath the effects and the ever-growing effects that was coming from using the blade, and you can probably use it safely now. But you were also level 14.
I remember, I fight for my home, for my kingdom.
The turn is yours. You can still go in whatever order you wish. You're all at 19.
That was my action and bonus and reaction, and I'll just take, I guess, like a step towards Cal to make sure he's okay and be within reaching distance in case I need to touch him or help him.
Yeah, Cal's in full-on power mode. You've seen same thing like Horatio, though Horatio had his tattoos were glowing at the time, and right now, kind of like Avatar. Cal is just, his eyes are just glowing as he's just in the chaos, in the arcane that you can see.
After I see that he's finished eating it and the energy washes over both of us, I'll take a step towards Cal and look at Duran in the eye and say, "My love, our friends need us. Harness this power." And then I'll turn towards Cal and see if he needs aid. And that's everything I can do.
Right.
Duran is going to then he's going to move here, and he's going to take the dodge action. in preparation for striking these guys when they eventually touch the ground.
All right, dodge action. So you move on over, going right beneath where Balin and Jalen are in the air. You prepare your action to become more nimble, ready for them to strike or for you to strike. Manako, you're up next.
So the piece of fruit was uncomfortable in her hands, right?
Yes.
So she kind of looks at it and she frowns and looks up at Cal on the throne. She puts it between her hands and will kneel down next to the throne and begin muttering a prayer to Nyx. And she'll cast darkness using the racial tiefling ability on herself to cloak both her and Cal in the protective darkness. And then she pops it into her mouth and she finally says, Nyx, protect us and protect Cal. She'll swallow it.
Roll me religion check.
19.
As the celestial energy floods your veins, you will also receive an image. And then in the darkness, it puts on almost like a show, a projection. As you look around, you see what looks to be two goddesses and an infernal creature standing there, grasping what seems to be some type of stone. You can't hear what they're saying, but they're speaking to one another. Looking over, the two goddesses stare down and look at this strange, at this powerful-looking infernal creature. And he nods his head, the images change. You see standing there as you see yourself within some type of strange hellscape within a castle. It's hot, it's intense. There, this person, this infernal creature, stands there staring at something. You can't make out what it is, but you do notice hiding behind a corner of this castle, it's a strange black feathered humanoid entity. There's something familiar about this person, you're not sure. And you see him carrying a knife in his back, slowly creeping up, slowly to this person. And as he does, the infernal creature, the infernal royal creature, doesn't notice and gets stabbed in the back by this black feathered humanoid. The infernal creature's hand begins to burn, pressing against the chest of this creature, leaving a burning hand scar onto it as it runs back in pain, holding its chest. Its feather begins to fall off and it starts to become bony in nature. And you look on, the infernal creature that did this to him begins to kneel over, feeling some type of poison coming from the blade. With that, the images fade off and you're still back into the magical darkness, feeling yourself more invigorated with power, and you gain a level. You're now level 14.
Power.
But that was your action? Bonus action to eat it, and I don't know, is it a free action to cast darkness or is it an action?
No, it's an action.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that's it for her.
Horatio, you're up next.
All right. Well, I want to be slick. I'm gonna let you know. I want to be slick and use my spell slot first, and then eat the fruit. Is that okay?
What?
Like I want to, yeah. So I want to eat. I want to use my spell slot for my 6th level spell slot first, and then eat the fruit.
I would say you do not know that this is gonna level you up. So
that is true.
Would Horatio really do something, not knowing what this is in his hand and assuming, or are you metagaming?
I was metagaming, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna eat the fruit first.
Okay.
And
all right, so you
honesty and RP.
Yeah, honesty.
Yeah.
All right, so using your bonus action, you take and consume the fruit as well. When you go ahead and consume the fruit, Horatio, within your Archon of Peace mode, that blue energy that floats around you just extends and becomes greater. The wind that's been circling around your body just picks up, and throughout your veins, the celestial energy comes upon you. You immediately feel the power to shape reality come. Like almost like you feel like you have the power to do anything now. Your senses have been heightened. Everything about you just expands. And when you open up your eyes once again, you see things floating in the sky, creatures that wasn't there before just floating around normal, and you just blink around and then you just see webs of energy forming around everyone. You see the link of energy that everyone has. You see the Stellus bond between King and Duran. You see the dark chaos energy that floats around the fiend creatures, and you spot exactly where Deja Vu is. Beyond the trees that are there, you can see exactly where they are, seeing in some type of weird infrared vision as you go on. And you also level up to level 14. But you get the sense what you can see now is that even if you needed to target someone, even though they're obscured, you can just pinpoint them anywhere where they are.
Okay. I'm going to... Let me see something. I'm going to walk forward 5 feet and cast Sunbeam at 6th level, targeting Deja Vu. Oh, wait, yes, Sunbeam is concentration, never mind. Thank you for catching that. So, instead, let's switch it to a Disintegrate. Ooh, they take half damage.
So they rolled a 22, which saves. Whoa, what's the plus 40?
The plus 40 is the plus 40 force of Disintegrate.
Is what the spell is. That's what that spell does.
Whoa. You all hear an echo of pain coming from that area.
You can't hide from me, Deja.
All right, they save, so they remain invisible, but you still easily see them. You still have the rest of your movement?
Yes, I do. I will move in here, because this will put me in the darkness, but I can still see everything, right?
Yeah, you can see Monako, you can see Cal, you can see everything through it.
Perfect.
Looks like your sight goes beyond magical darkness as well.
Awesome. So I will chill right here, and that is the end of my turn.
Okay, you can go ahead and move your circle so you can have it. But remember, Duran, I don't know if you added your AC, but your AC did go up because you're within the
Yes, I did
miasma.
add that temporary AC. He has +2 temporary AC right now.
Awesome, okay. Dalen, who's still blinded, goes, Brother! Oh, help me! Help me now! I'm behind you! And then they stop talking out loud, and then she nods her head, right, and flies towards him. And they kind of meet up in the air 120 feet. But that's where she will end her turn. She will then roll the check to see if she makes it. Oh, no. He is still blinded. She's just like, oh, get off of me! Someone get that witch! So, Cal, all this is happening around you. You are aware and unaware at the same time. You're experiencing everything that's happening within Dustcaving simultaneously, and it is an intense strike on your intelligence, on your mind. Start your round, roll me another intelligence saving throw. Oh, well, let me rephrase this. You do have the choice to get up, or you can continue, but you do feel that the weight of the Corporus Arcana is starting to become... You're starting to feel the weight of the Corporus Arcana as the witnessing simultaneously the events that's happening with your former selves. Judean is starting to pull out this, and you see Horatio beginning to lift his fingers to cast Witch Bolt. What do you wish to do? You can get up or continue.
I'm going to continue, and I would like to use my abilities as the Mortal Key to do it.
All right. What is your intention?
My intention is to unlock the potential of these ley lines and rebalance them and fix them, seeing that potential, knowing what they could be and should be from the state that is current with chaos probably being out of line, considering everything with, the demon dancers and what's been going on here for so long. And I would like to use my abilities as the Mortal Key to kind of fix or realign.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll me an intelligence saving throw. I'll give you advantage.
That is a 16 plus 4, a 20.
20. All right. You're now trying to manipulate the energy of the arcane that's in here, and Arcana is not your strong suit, so it's hard. But using the power of the Mortal Key, you seep into the power of Kellenvor, the power he granted upon you, and begin to warp and change the ley lines, trying to put them back right, trying to bring them to what proper level they should be at. And you do sense, I'll say this, that the ley lines aren't as they once were. They feel like a former shell of what they were back into the past. And you try to form it and shift it. When you do, so a couple things happen. At this point, Horatio starts to flick the Witch Bolt out, striking the runic room within the Corporus and beginning the explosion that pulls forth. Doramo starting to turn around. You see this all in kind of the slow motion aspect. You're looking at it through, not through the eyes of within this reality, but looking it out as if you're looking down into a snow globe and seeing this happen and shooting the tendrils of arcane energy down there. At the moment of the spark that explodes, and you see yourselves all teleport to your many different ways, going into the spell weave. That tear within the spell weave that happens at that point gets struck down by the arcane power that you put forth, almost like a lightning rod as it attracts it, striking down the energy of the Corporus Arcana as it begins to fall at this point, begins to stabilize. And in doing so, the lightning bolt of your arcane energy continues, striking down onto the earth beneath you, connecting back, carving new levels of ley lines as it starts to piece around. It is extremely intense, and even though you save, you feel the power of it. Your very soul is being ripped apart. During this process, you are going to take 14 points of just pure radiant damage or arcane damage onto you, as this is a mental extreme taxation, both spiritually and mentally. But you do start to feel an altering in the earth itself and the ley lines that lie within it. But that would be your entire action to do so. But you do see for now the Corporus has freefalled, and you are holding it up at this point.
Ooh. All right, that's my turn. Yeah, this is incredible.
Okay, top of the round, Deja Vu. The Deja Vu is over here. You see Deja Vu. The energy around them begin to fluctuate and begin to alter, growing in size. You see the demonic energy just start to increase. You felt this energy before, and with your keen mind, you're able to pick up this is the same energy that Ren had, the same energy that Ren and Genju and the others had, and the same energy you had when you first fought them. And as it finally reaches its apex and explodes in dark energy, you see just this figure dart directly towards you. The rest of you don't see any of them, as they're maintaining. You are technically in the magical darkness, okay. So they also jump into the magical darkness. They just dart a cart directly in front of you after you following the line from your destruction ray into the darkness. You can still see. You're not sure if they can see you or not. Manako, you can see this. No one else can see them since it's magical darkness. But this figure. Oh, well, since you can see actually through the magical darkness, Manako, you see that this is fully armored Deja Vu within that armor that you fought them before so long ago in Arawatch. They stretch out their hand and you see it go at Horatio, and as a dark energy pushes out of their fingertips onto Horatio. And I need Horatio for you to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
So I get the +4 from Cal.
Yes.
I get advantage, and I have my Rabu blessing just in case.
Okay, are you going to use it?
We'll see. No, 27.
27. All right. So as Deja strikes in, you see them put their fingers on your chest. You see this dark black energy begin to come upon you and start to stretch out, and you feel yourself get stiff, covered in chaos as you're unable to move. You stave it off, concentrating hard within your Archon of Peace mode, pushing it off. Deja scowls and you hear,
"You pathetic creatures. I will destroy you all in the name of Master Erebus, soon to be King Tartarus."
And they will continue their turn and make 2 swings at you, Horatio.
I would like to use my reaction to cast Shield and make my AC 28.
Ooh, that was a 27.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That, all right.
So, in doing so, my Arcane Deflection triggers, and Deja Vu takes 13 points of damage. Oh no, sorry, 14 points of damage.
Alrighty. Okay. So you hear Deja Vu, as Deja Vu strikes down with that, you can see exactly where they are and react instinctively, raising up your magic as a humongous shield appears. Their sword cracks against it, and the energy just shoots back towards them, and you hear them go, and they turn. Instead of striking you this time, they turn around and slash at Monako to make an attack. All right, for a 27 to hit, unless you have something you can do, Monako.
No, she's gonna get hit.
Just checking. All right, so you take 22 points of slashing damage with an additional 29 points of necrotic damage. And Deja looks pissed. But that's all they can do this turn. So they will end it with Balin to go up. Balin can finally see and will look over at Jalen, and who will look back, and then
She'll just look around because she's blind.
Balin will fly down to about just above where the creatures, the celestial creatures, are floating around, and look towards Duran and say, "Hey there, you're strong and muscly. Why don't you just stand over there in the corner and wait for me to say otherwise? And I need you to make me a charisma saving throw." Oh, at advantage because you are, or do elves can't beat you?
They have advantage.
Yeah, so you have advantage.
Save.
Yeah.
Can I save?
Charisma saving, wisdom saving throw. Sorry, wisdom saving.
He's been better off with the charisma one. I was like, oh wow, okay.
Sorry, you get advantage due to your Fey ancestry.
How close is Kyle's powers isn't gonna be on? He's in the chair.
No, his powers are still on. And you're within 15 feet. Is that how far your thing goes,
Yeah,
Cal?
it's 15.
Okay. Yeah, you get +4.
Oh, 10 feet?
Or the
Or
10.
15.
10, no.
10.
No.
I get nothing. I get nothing. Okay, 20.
20. Nice. That's a save. You hear Balin's voice whisper into your ears, and you easily waft it off, shaking your head, looking up at him. When he sees that there's no recognition of his words, he looks sad and goes, "Oh, well, you're no fun." But they will stay 30 feet. No, wait, how much movement do you get? 60.
He's spoken for, hussy.
They'll just fly back 30 more feet, so they're 60 feet in the air at this point.
I have a boyfriend.
Well, I'm better. Don't you wish your boyfriend was hot like me?
Don't you wish your boyfriend's divine like me?
He'll scowl at you and end his turn 60 feet in the air. Duran, you're up next. How do you respond to this attack?
How far? 60 feet up.
Yes.
Duran's gonna spend.
Wait, Monako was gonna go first.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
All nine. I keep forgetting. All of you can
19s.
Goes on 19. Yeah, so the 19s, the 3 19s.
Actually, are we gonna try? Can we try dance?
Monako will use a bonus action. Can she go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
She'll use a bonus action to cast Far Step, jumping, disappearing in a cloud in a puff of smoke, and appearing near King and between King and Duran, and incidentally concentrating on a new spell, dispelling the magical darkness.
Magic Doctor gets away, and you all see, and then now you all see Deja right there, and immediately notice that you saw them. It was like kind of a brief spark where like jolted across the screen, so you really couldn't catch it. But now you see the familiar Deja Vu there battling with Horatio. But continue.
As she lands, she's in a kind of kneeling prayer position, and she'll use that as a starting position to stand up and move elegantly into a dance, and she'll begin stone dancing, expending as much movement as possible.
Okay, so Monako initiates the dance. Is your intention to dance together?
She will, in one movement, look over towards King and say, "Join me," and then look back at Duran and say, "There's no time," and indicate that she does want to dance with her partners.
Okay. How do the two of you follow in suit?
I'll take a step towards her and start dancing.
And Duran will step to the side and also dance with Monako and King, kind of moving with and through their dance, like exchanging partners, and kind of seamlessly kind of move in and out of the dance.
All right, so as you all look over at each other, and the battlefield kind of drifts away and fades, everything goes silent, and you begin dancing at your own beat, started by Monako, and you start to move around.
If chaos trumps magic, then friendship trumps chaos. Together we'll defeat them. Dance! Dance with me.
Together we will change the future.
Right the wrongs of the past.
So, as you all begin to dance to the central beat of Monako, as she steps around, moving in her waltz, the earth around you begins to twist and start to magnetize itself around the three of you. As you start to dance within this, the moisture in the air begins to solidify, becoming heavier, until like a small stream of water begins to float around the rocks as well, being picked up by the winds of Duran's steps as you all start to circle around and dance and to create this. The energy of all three of you begins to thrust out, and immediately the first thing that you feel is a shield of wind, rock, and water form around you, increasing your defenses higher and higher, raising you and giving you additional temporary hit points and resistance to bludgeoning damage, both magical or unmagical damage, as this armor of energy from your elements begins to form around you. As it does, all three of you begin to feel the wind rise beneath your feet, almost stepping onto the air with a similar sensation as Duran has described. You're not sure what it means, but possibly the wind could be your stepping stones in front of you, as this glittering shape of almost like a mirror-like shine comes across your bodies. So you have that kind of that shield around you, and your body, your skin itself becomes very reflective and shiny, bouncing the light off of each of you, and you all begin to start to float up. So you all have 20 additional temporary hit points, receive no resistance to bludgeoning damage, both magical and non-magical. But you also, that's all your movements. You still have so as the heavens reflection comes upon you, casting this magic on you.
With that, she dancing in this among all these floating stones and water, stepping on them lightly. She begins to twirl and in a series of pirouettes, jumping onto the stones. She'll throw out 3 different Eldritch blasts, attempting to hit Deja Vu despite their armor.
All right, go ahead and roll an attack.
Ooh, a 2, a 13.
13 misses.
Another one. Ooh, a 20. Natural 20. For a total of 31.
Okay.
Dealing 16 points of force damage. And as it hits Monako, she hits it in the middle of one of these pirouettes. And she'll drag her wand through the air, cleaving almost like a sort of shadowy barrier. And a tentacle comes out and tries to move them 10 feet towards us.
Okay.
Using Grasp with Heyday, which is back, baby.
All right. So, goes Deja Vu. They get grasped by it. And then you notice that they took the full damage of your blast. Is it this dance that you had on? This dance that's debbed into the energy of Nyx, the energy of Myliki, and this other entity, this infernal entity. You're not sure exactly, but that you saw within your vision, but you do feel that energy come upon all of you, and pulling Deja through Horatio. I guess you're being,
past Horatio.
Yeah. I would say. I mean, Horatio, roll me a dexterity saving if you're gonna just pull in that direction. 15. Okay. As Deja just kind of struggles, and trying not to be pulled, they are pulled through. Horatio, you managed to just jump out the way before, or else you would have been dragged with them. Keeping your position, you said 10 feet? Oh, I think that's right there. They are put right in front of Cal. Cal, you are experiencing everything simultaneously, so you see what is going on with this as well, but your mind is focused on keeping the Kaporas from crashing down onto you all. But they are indeed pulled that way. What else would you like to do in your turn?
One less Eldritch Blast.
Right.
For 19 for a total of 30.
Right. Full damage.
15 damage.
And 15 more points of damage.
And then she'll say, finally landing on the ground, "Get them, Duran."
Duran, you're the only one that can beat them.
I have a little bit of movement left. I move 5 feet here, and Duran is gonna swing, and this time not with anger, with the focus of and the energy of his friends, of friendship. Yes, the power of friendship.
All right, that's a 24, which hits. Roll damage. All right, so 11 points of damage onto Deja as it begins to cut through their armor. You hear them scream in pain as they get struck by the chaotic blade. Continue your turn.
And with the force of the blade pushing through, he kind of feels the momentum building, and the chaos, once kind of erratic and overwhelming, now organized. And on the tip of the corner of the edge of his blade, he swings in with the kinetic slash and strikes Deja for 1 damage with it.
Doing 1 more point of damage.
And then he flicks the blade up at the last moment, knocking bits of dirt and iron sand and just crushed on it into Deja's face to strike with the sneak attack damage.
Right.
Then Duran strikes again.
29 hits. Nice. Roll damage.
And then, since we got a level up, he's going to use his action surge to attack again.
Yeah, you can. 26 hits. Roll damage. All right, so an additional 10 points of damage.
And continues to keep the momentum of the swings.
All right, another 5 points of damage.
He strikes again.
29 hits, doing an additional 11 points of damage. 9 more points of damage of kinetic energy. Yeesh.
And then with his bonus action, he swings one last time. And then he's going to add 1d8 damage to his combat superiority die. And Deja is going to need to make a DC 18 will save or become frightened.
All right, a wisdom saving. All right, 17. What was the number?
18.
All right, that is a failure. They are frightened. You see Deja looking over, taking slash after slash after slash from your blade.
No. That chaos blade. But it's different. You've mastered the power of chaos. I have to get out of here.
As they huff and puff, and on their turn, they will run away from you.
And that's the end of Duran's turn.
Do they have to use their reaction run away now or no?
Oh, if they move, they have to move away from me, not towards me.
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything right now.
Okay. Just check. All right. So after blow from Duran's blade, you start to see the chaos energy start to attack and pile into Deja Vu, tearing them apart. Their armor is beginning to fall off as they look. Even though they're clad in full armor, you can sense the fear coming from them. Up next, King. In tangent with what's going on, after finishing the dance, what do you do?
I have a few steps of movement left, so I'm going to see that they're taking care of Deja Vu, and Balin and Jalen must be taken care of. So I'm going to start to walk towards them, and then I know that normally Duran can sort of step on air, so I'm going to start to do that, but it's not that I don't trust that power, it's that I feel as if I've grown and developed my own new strength, and with that, I'll activate my otherworldly spectral wings, and a pair of spectral butterfly wings will burst out of my back, and I will gain fly speed naturally, and I will take off and fly directly towards Balin and Jalen.
Okay. So your butterfly wings sprout out, and you all just feel an intense amount of celestial energy explode into the area as King's bright wings unfurl. Once the light dies down, you see these beautiful butterfly wings grow as he shoots off towards Balin and Jalen in the sky.
So that gives me 30 feet of movement. I think they were 60 feet away, which would not be enough. But then I'll use my action to dash to get there.
Okay.
And then that would bring them within range of my Spectral Guardians, and now they're Pegasi unicorns flying in the sky with me as they bash into both Balin and Jalen.
Okay.
So that was the rest of my action, my bonus, and movement. As I hovered naturally.
All right. You all see King just floating there with his wings. Horatio, in between you and Duran is Deja Vu. What do you wish to do next?
mean, being that they are right up on me, I will, I want to move away, but they might take a reaction attack against me. So what I'm going to do is use Shocking Grasp on Deja Vu. Do they have any medals on? Oh, well, I guess I still get advantage because Duran's on the other side anyways.
Yeah. But
They're
Okay.
also frightened, so they would have disadvantage on an op attack because they see Duran.
Oh, that was almost a crit. All
That
right.
was almost a
9 hit. All that
That's-
damage.
3d8, 9 points of lightning damage to Deja Vu, and they cannot take any reactions.
It is halved, so, but the effect is nonetheless. So they cannot take any.
I will move here, bringing this here, keeping everyone. I don't know if King is too high up.
Oh,
for it,
King's too high up. Yeah.
but everyone who's on the ground is still inside of it. And then with my bonus action, I will switch to Archon of Power. That is the end of my turn. Oh, my AC goes down by 2.
All right. Jalen is next, who's currently aligned.
At the start of his turn, since
Yeah,
he
it's
is in range.
Have her roll her save on. All right, that's 16, which fails.
30 points of radiant damage.
Oh my god, Jalen has been useless this match. She's just like, brother, I'm weak. I don't want to go back. I want to serve the Dark Master. And she will attempt to make a swing at you, but we'll do it at disadvantage because she cannot see you. You see Jalen look over towards Balin and seem to nod, and then Balin, Balin looks directly over at you, King, and like just stay like his eyes are wide open. He seems to be focused on you. And then you kind of are creeped out by it for a second until you see coming up behind you, squaring directly looking, not even looking at you, with her head twisted to the side. She seems to be lunging towards you anyway, knowing exactly where you are. And Jalen's going to make an attack. She goes and grapples onto you, and goes and puts her lips towards your cheek and begins sucking into like, rejuvenate me. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
23. I push her back and say, you need to ask consent first.
Actually, no. Sorry. So as she goes in and grapples onto you, she begins to suck the energy out of you as you push her off, and the heaven's reflection takes place. And in doing so, with the energy she begins, as she's sucking into your neck, you see, instead of, even though you're staving it off, you see instead of her, you like getting shriveled up, you start to see her wings start to shrivel, her body start to become prunish, and you feel the energy come out, instead of for her, into you, gaining HP instead. So you gain 21 points of HP. So you can get back your temporary HP, so you don't gain any. And you start to see her go, what? Brother! She poofs into nothing, disappearing, returning to the plane that she once came from, because that brought her over her age. Okay. Not sure what had happened, King. You just feel the reflective energy of your body, like your very slippery, shiny skin seems to push off the magical essence of the attack that she put onto you, reversing it, pulling it to your favor.
Wonder if it reflects all spells. Interesting.
All right.
All right.
So that was Jalen. He's dead. Cal, you're up next. Are you going to keep holding it up? At this point, the explosion had happened. You saw yourselves teleport throughout space and time. You saw Doramo and the rest of the war band teleport throughout darkness, and Day and Sunfeld disappear with yourself. And the Corporus is now, although it still has exploded and the actual building is still in pieces, the island that is floating in the sky is being held up by your spectral hand of using the arcane tendrils of the ley lines. Do you wish to continue to stay there and roll? And you also see Deja Vu standing right in front of you.
Yes, I will continue to hold up the island from killing all of us.
Okay.
Using
Do you
my...
wanna-
What were you going to say?
I was gonna say, do you want to at some point swap with Horatio? Because you can ask him to.
We'll have to get rid of Deja Vu first, I think. Before we try to switch seats.
Yeah.
Right, so, Cal, roll me another intelligence saving throw at advantage as you are currently rewriting the ley lines.
22.
Okay. That supplies your aura effect.
Yeah.
All right. So 1t2. So you, as the energy pulsates through your veins once again, and you start to continue the battlefield. It seems like the tide has turned. It seems like King Terminus is starting whatever was keeping the army at bay, whatever troubles that had happened to them. They seem to be enriched. What you're doing must be working. The battle is turning in their favor. The undead scourge are starting to recede back, and you see King Terminus with his army pushing further and further, pushing them out of the Great District as they're battling. You go ahead and you're still carving within the earth below these new paths of the ley lines, covering this entirety of this plane, reaching out. Now at this point, your consciousness is getting deeper into the void. You're piercing into the void itself, going through this chaos energy. The ley lines were there. They definitely were there, but they were out. You're now starting to ignite the ley lines as it goes throughout the void, as it's going further and further through the dungeon that's beneath, heading towards the 4th layer. But that is all you can do if you're remaining to stay in the sea.
That's all I'm doing.
Okay, good job. DC's getting higher and higher. Up next, start of the round, is Deja Vu. So, Deja Vu, seeing this, is afraid of Duran, but before they're running away, trying to get farther away, they turn and see Cal going back and forth, glowing with his energy, and immediately, even though they're afraid, go to strike at him in the seat.
I won't let you interfere.
You can't stop this!
As you see that, all of you hear Cal's words echo throughout the ground in your feet. Almost like it's booming thaumaturgy throughout the entirety of this cavern. So they're struck by this, and they're just beating it in front of their face, trying to get these Pegasi out of their way. But nevertheless, they go down at disadvantage to strike at Cal, which will technically be at advantage because you are not moving. You're just technically prone there, so it would just be an even row. So first attack is a 13. Misses. They strike down, and then the arcane energy around you just kind of keeps their sword at bay, their dark, chaotic sword, as they're in this red and black armor, and it repels the sword as they come down one more time. 27.
27 will hit.
You take 32 points of damage, absorbed by a lot of your the temporary hit points that you had, as well as an additional 19 points of necrotic damage.
Happens.
So you feel this necrotic, dark, chaotic, or to say chaotic damage. You feel this necrotic, chaotic energy get thrust into you as you feel it start to course throughout your veins, but you try to stave it off. Keep your concentration. The ley lines, the waves you were making kind of make crisscross and go off the path that you were treading. But you're able to keep yourself, steel yourself, as you focus on the battle, and Thelos, focus on the traversing throughout the void. Focus on holding the Corporis Arcana, which raise an astronomical amount of weight from crashing down, killing you and your friends. They will then use their movement to... they will attempt to get away from Duran. Not getting closer, but they want to stay... Yep, they're going to run away. So Duran, you can make opportunity attack.
Remember,
Duran will make an opportunity attack.
And they're going up. So I'm going to move back.
Like into the air?
Yes.
Let's see.
They get 60 feet of movement and 3, so they'll only get about just outside of the 15-foot radius. So they can't even move back. So they're still there, but they're up in the air.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna swing. I'm gonna use a luck die to reroll that.
Okay, 12. You can do second lucky. There.
Second.
18 misses.
Oh, but 18 is a whiff.
Alright, so you go ahead and make your strike. Unfortunately, it misses. You try to see if you can curve a little bit, but Deja is too quick as they raise up, getting just outside of the radius of the spiritual guardians, but they're not able to get any further than that. With their last action, they will then go ahead and do the familiar motion that you saw before, as coalescing of dark energy starts to appear inside of their chest area. Looking down, you see that
Fuck.
you're within 5. So I would need Cal. You can't even make a dexterity saving throw because you're just sit there. You would have to automatically fail.
Does that look like
unless-
a chaos spell or like a regular spell?
It looks like a chaos spell. I will give you that. It definitely looks like that. It looks like the same chaos spell that they did back when you saw them shoot that beam of energy that exploded when they were low health. They're doing it again. It does strike everyone within 5 feet, which would be Duran and
wouldn't-
Cal.
Wouldn't Heaven's Vengeance reflect some of that?
Oh.
And or all of that?
Can I
We'll
also
see.
add that since I can see the arcane threads and all of that, can I see the chaos threads as well or no?
Oh yeah, you can see all of it.
So, is there any way that I can try to shoot a counterspell focused exactly at those threads to kind of interrupt them? Just as an attempt. Like, I know it's failed before, but now I can kind of see what I'm going for.
All right. I will say you can attempt to. Yes. You will have to roll your
Chaos
spell casting.
counter!
Roll your
will-
spell casting modifier.
I will do it at 5th level.
Okay.
Where is it? So since it's a spellcasting modifier, can I just do like a firebolt or whatever, or shocking grasp? I won't target them, but
Oh well, you don't add your proficiency bonus. So. Oh yes.
I don't?
No, not to this. To the check for this, you would add your proficiency bonus.
okay. So it's just
Just an intelligence check. I should have just said that. I'm sorry.
okay. 23.
23. It's on your side this match, everyone, all of you. So as Deja is starting to fire this energy, that would probably do major damage to Cal at least, if not to maybe Duran, who knows, with this reflective energy that's on top of him right now. But nevertheless, they are about to fire this chaotic blast, and you hear them yell out,
I will obliterate you all. Fall to the power of chaos.
and as they do, the energy starts to swirl up. Horatio, you immediately lock on to the chaos energy. Following the tendrils, you can see the line that of the energy that swirls around. You see that Deja's energy seems to come from their core, right in the middle of their chest, and that's where like the core of energy is of chaos for them. You can see it in all of your allies too, seeing like how their body makeup is in the arcane energy in there. But you lock on to the core of chaos within Deja and crush it with your hands. In doing so, the energy fades away, and Deja just looks around, shocked, and goes,
What? You?
and turns around and looks at you.
And Horatio says, I think you've done enough here. And being that I dispelled something, I gain another point of power surge. I'm up to 3 now.
All right. So Deja will end their turn, shocked that their power of chaos has been dispelled. Balin will go, oh, sister! Oh, first of all, Balin will roll their save for the spiritual guardians, and they're struck by it, and they look, and he's struck by the celestial Pegasi, and goes, I will get you, and goes down and strikes you with his claws. Oh my goodness. 13 versus your AC.
That is a miss.
All right, and they are unable to strike you. The energy bouncing off of their claws as he puts it back and goes, and he just flies away. 5. You get opportunity attack. 5. And he makes it out.
I will op attack him with Caliburn. You get an F'd.
It's just gonna end right there, on top of the mountain hill.
Okay.
First time King using his staff for an attack,
Right? Yeah, like literally.
poking him with the other end of the pointy end of the unicorn horn.
Right? There we go. Okay.
1d8 plus your dex mod. 5 points of damage. Nice. And he will end his turn at the outskirts of this and attempt to hide away.
Not from Horatio, though.
Now, you don't see him anymore, King. He fades off away from this existence. Horatio, though, you can, if you look, you can up and see exactly where he is, even in the ethereal plane. Because remember, you've been seeing these weird creatures floating around. You surmise that you can see into the ethereal plane, and these are just ethereal creatures.
Yeah.
Up next is Duran. What would you like to do? Deja is 30 feet in the air. 25 feet in the air.
Duran is going to spend 25 feet of his movement activating his vagary.
Your vagary's already activated.
Oh, nice. He's getting 325 feet of movement, keeping his vagary active, and he's going to activate his cloud vagary. Take this, Deja Vu. Cloud vagary. Strike of the Wind God.
Right.
He's gonna throw an attack at Deja.
16 misses.
Whiff.
You go ahead and use your Strike of the Wind God, throwing the attack up. Deja dodges out the way as a gust of wind blows past their face, chopping off just a little bit of the horns that are on the helmet as they look down at you in fear.
He spends a second burst to fire a second shot with his second attack.
28 hits for that damage.
So here's my question. Even though the first swing didn't hit, did it still build enough momentum to get to connect /2?
No, it would have to hit.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going to adjust that. I forgot to turn it off for your turn. You take 7 points of damage coming from the Chaotic Blade.
Then additional 6. And then I'm going to spend 1d8. I'm going to put 1d8 additional damage on this from my combat superiority die. I'm going to have Deja make a DC 18 strength saving throw or get knocked prone.
All right. That is a 22.
Awesome. Okay. And then Duran's going to swing one more time. 21.
That hits. Roll damage. 10 points of damage. Additional 9 points of damage.
And then he's going to use his third combat superiority die to put 1d8 more damage on it and make Deja make a DC 18 wisdom saving throw or become frightened again.
All right. So, legendary reaction, but I'm going to use the second one. So, they rolled a 10, so they are still frightened of you. Indeed. But in that fear, they will use a legendary reaction. And in a familiar move that you saw them do before in Arrow Watch, they clutch their arms and their legs together in air, getting to more of like a fetal-like position before reaching out their hands and their legs to a full like star-like formation. When they do, a big blast of energy comes around them, and everyone within a 40-foot radius of them has to make a dexterity, a constitution saving throw. So Cal, you can try to make this.
Can I react to that chaotic energy since my turn came back up and my reaction came back to use the blade's ability to deflect the energy back at Deja? It allows him to make, I think it's a saving, he makes a saving throw and can reflect back the attack using his reaction.
So go ahead and roll me a wisdom check.
With advantage?
Funny.
I don't know what gives him advantage.
The power of friendship.
Here we go. I'm going to use my last luck die to re-roll that.
Okay.
Very last one.
Remember, you also have Makar.
All of them all.
You also have Makar as well.
Oh shoot!
That, right?
The only one who used it was Horatio.
He used
I did.
He used it,
I
but
used
you
it.
ate the fruit.
Yeah, and you got
After.
it back.
You got it back.
Oh, awesome. Okay. It's wisdom check, right?
Yes.
Go.
You have to use the new roll, or can you pick the higher?
Oh yeah, I can pick. I'm gonna pick the. I'm gonna evoke the Rabu bonus one last time. Makar, please. Makar gave me a 1.
So the blast comes off, and you all see it happening. You see Duran catch it with his blade, before kind of catch it with his blade before it strikes down and hits Cal and himself. As you see him struggling, and all of you look back and are trying to pump as much energy into him as he's trying to pray to the Arabu, pray to whomever as he continues to hold it back. It's clashing against his blade, and you all see sparks of chaos jolt against his blade itself. And as he does, he begins to hold it, and like you see the blade begin to weaken, and where he's able to push against it, and the energy, instead of hitting Cal and you and Duran, shoot back up and strike into Deja as it explodes within them. You see Deja begin to careen and fall down to the ground after being struck by this, taking 28 points of damage, halved. So they take 14 points of damage. All right, so that was a lot of dice rolling. All right, they are looking really rough. The pieces of armor has fallen off of Deja as every massive attack that they've attempted doing you reflected and stopped in some way. Now able to bend, use your powers to defend against chaos. You're now coming into your own, realizing how you stand as liberators, as heroes of against the chaos. Deja's prone on the ground, taking fall damage, taking an additional 9 points of fall damage, and is currently prone. They already used all their movement, so they are on the ground prone and end their turn. Oh no! Wait! This was Duran's turn. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, so Duran, they are now on the ground in front of you.
Well, that was the end of Duran's turn anyway.
Oh, okay. Ooh, a lot happened there. Monaco or King.
Not King.
Can we? And we can't see Balin.
No, you cannot see
Or
Balin.
I can't see Balin,
Yeah.
even though I'm up in the air.
Balin
I
has.
saw him fly away.
You saw him
He
fly
just
away,
disappeared.
and then you saw him there, and then he just disappeared, as if he went invisible or went to the. You know that you do know from the last time you fought them that demons have the ability to go into the ethereal plane at will.
Oh, he slipped away. Fuck. All right. Okay, Monaco, you go then. Let me think about what I'm gonna do.
So you said that there was kind of like holes in their armor.
Yes.
Would there be one that Minako would be able to like just feasibly fit her hand through?
Yeah.
So she will kind of walk up to Deja, who's now prone on the ground, and as she does so, she puts her wand in her left hand, and raising her right hand, she puts it over Deja Vu, and she says with a smile on her face, "This time you're not getting away." And she will cast Finger of Death on Deja Vu.
Hey. What's that do?
A lot of damage.
They failed.
They take 69 necrotic damage.
Okay. Because they are resistant to necrotic damage. But nonetheless, that is 34 points of necrotic damage. You know? They are. Roll me a D100.
47?
Okay. They look like they're on death's door. It just so happens that they're still pulling through. Like, the armor just disappears off of Deja, and they're just on the ground. You can see that there's a sliver of 1 HP left onto this creature, and they are looking with fear in their eyes. And hey, no hard feelings, right? I was following the master's order. You don't want to kill me. I can tell you all the secrets. I can give you information. I just want to play on the winning side. They have like 1 HP.
Can I go?
Range
Yeah,
head to
you can
No,
king.
no, you can finish it. Can you finish it? Or if not, I can.
No, she can't finish it.
Okay. I'm going to fly back and land next to Deja Vu with my butterfly wings. You were never meant to win. Chaos cannot rule these lands, and you will fade to ash and be forgotten. And I'll cast Immolation.
Describe your killing blow.
Okay, as I fly backwards, I'll nod towards Horatio and know that and point towards where Balin left because I can't find him, and know that he has supreme senses, and I'll land and float on the opposite side of Duran, and I'll look at Cal suffering and holding it together, and nod towards Duran and Minako, who brought this vile creature so low. You will fade to ash, and chaos will not succeed. And cast King's Immolation, and nothing remains but a pile of ash.
Okay. And as they are struck with King's Immolation, they are turned into. You just hear them go, ah! Ah! Please! Please! The Dark One will kill you! Oh! And they are erupted into nothing, leaving nothing. They're erupted into flames, leaving nothing but ashes and cinder onto the ground. To be no more.
Minako attempts to cast Soul Cage.
Okay. Well,
Nice.
I'll keep that in mind. You're still technically in battle if anyone wanted to do anything for Balin, but it looks like Balin. It looks like Balin is running away. Okay, so I'll keep that in mind. We'll get back to you, Minako, as this all happening. Horatio, Balin, you look around, you see this happen, and you shoot towards. You saw Balin run out, and you still see him, and he's in the ethereal plane, running away. What do you wish to do?
I am going to. I'm going to yell towards Balin, "You can't get away from me!" And it's like he's charging up, but instead I'm casting Magic Missile at the 7th level, and it's just like the charge up of Arcane of Power just shoots all these bolts out towards him. And I'm also going to Power Surge it. I'm going to put 3 points of Power Surge into it, which will cause 28 plus 14. What's that? 42. So Magic Missile at the 7th level should be 7d4s, right?
1d4 extra per level you do.
Yeah, so it would be 4 levels. Wait, I'm tripping. Hold on. So, 6 extra. So, and Magic Missile's 3, so it's a total of 9, right? I just want to make sure I got the math right.
Yep.
And then, let me target him. And then he also takes another 42 on top of that because of my Power Surge.
All right. Describe your killing blow.
So, once Horatio yells that you can't get away from me, he kind of does that whole, flex of arcane power, and you just see all these red bolts kind of come out of him like homing missiles, and just start hitting them over and over. But you guys have seen his normal magic missiles before. These are like bigger, like they feel like explosions every time they hit each part of his body, up until the point where they dismember him and kill him.
Okay. And you just see, well, no one else sees this, you just see this, but all of you looking on, if you are looking on, not at Deja, see just explosions of the missiles hit off into nothing, while you just hear Horatio, you just hear as pieces of Balin shoot off, and you don't see his physical body. You just see like almost like the heat vision of his body, the chaos of his energy split off into pieces as he is just burned and and his energy is shifted away off this plane, returning to where it once came from, down in the abyssal plane. And you guys have successfully defeated Balin, Jalen, and killed, finally, after time number 3 or 4, Deja Vu. They are no more. Goodbye, Deja. So, Monako, you can continue with your soul cage with whatever you were attempting to do with your soul cage.
Well, she attempted to cast Soul Cage, but she wasn't sure if it would work because of the fiendish energy which permeated Deja Vu. They might not have been a human.
That fiendish energy? Roll me an Arcana check. Oh, yes. Roll me an Arcana check.
A 14.
14, okay. You definitely don't feel that fiendish energy come from them, and it's more like what you recognize from Duran and King coming off of this creature. So maybe Fey-like, you're not entirely sure. So how it gave off this fiendish energy before, you're not sure. You're not even sure exactly what Deja Vu was. But nevertheless, it does not have that energy now. So it seems like your cage may work.
So as the soul cage kind of, she feels the energy leave, she quickly mutters some foul words, and Deja Vu's soul gets trapped inside the tiny silver cage which Monako holds on her person. She holds the little cage up and looks inside it with a smile on her face, and then puts it down kind of in her other hand, smiling at the rest of them, and says, "We should do something about Cal."
Horatio, you can see all this. So not everyone really can see the soul other than the caster, but you clearly see the soul of Deja Vu as it flutters and is fluctuating between strange colors of you look at King and see like King and Duran's energy is more of this weird baby blue like entity, sky blue, whereas Deja is that, but it's surrounded by this chaotic energy. And you see it suck the soul into the box that Monaco's not carrying. Meanwhile, Cal, you're still in there holding it up. At this point, I'm going to need you to make another intelligence saving throw at advantage.
Can do.
Horatio will move closer, and
that is a natural 20 plus 4.
Natural 20.
24.
Okay. Cal, so you've been doing this for several seconds now, almost a minute, as you're holding it up, feeling the weight. You're carving in these ley lines, going deeper and deeper into the ground of the plane of Duskhaven, further deeper into the void. At this point, you've pierced through the dungeon that is beneath it. In an instant, your mind captures the full mapping of this dungeon. You recognize every secret that's placed there, every creature that's currently in there, but it's a fluctuation of memory. It's fresh in your mind, but it's hard to grasp it. But you get a sense of the entirety. You bust through that, and you see yourself that the ley lines curse from and falls into a strange cavern full of this weird crystalline water, not too dissimilar to the water that circles that of Duskhaven, the Sapphire Sea. And you see it flow as it turns slowly from the sapphire color to the golden color, to a golden hue, like that dark gold hue, and until it leads off into a strange open area of caverns that twist in turns, leading off into an exit where that is where your ability with the ley lines cuts off and you're unable to pierce that barrier. But you can go further if you want, but at this point you do start to feel pain. The pain is not affecting you yet, but you're starting to feel that the moment you stop doing what you're doing, you're going to be hit with something hard like Horatio. But you can choose to continue sitting if you want.
I will continue to sit,
Okay.
but I want to. Can I speak at all, or am I just too enveloped?
You're here and not here at the same time.
Okay.
Are we out of combat
Yeah.
order? Like, can we all do things?
You're completely out of combat. You successfully.
Seeing that he's like hurt and was attacked by Deja while he was sitting there, I'll hold Caliburn up towards him and cast Cure Wounds through the spear into him to try and rejuvenate him a little bit. And I'll use 4 full points.
Right.
Need to put the shard back. Horatio, can you teleport to the Corpus Arcana?
Yeah, yes, I can get there. Let me get the shard.
Take the shard from my bag of holding.
Horatio will go into Cal's bag of holding and envision pulling out the shard.
Okay. So you go into the side of his bag of holding and you start to pull it out. As you grab it, I need you. Actually, you don't have to roll a save. It just happens to you. You go in and pull out the shard, and instantly everything goes dark, or I say blank around you. Your consciousness leaves yourself for a second, and what you see is someone forging over this blade, someone hammering at it, hammering over for days and days, piercing, putting into it deep magic. As the sweat drips from her brow, she looks down and she looks at a reflection of herself from the sweat that's been pooling underneath this forge. And you see a reflection of an ash, like a kind of ash on her face and looking dirty, but still that majestic, beautiful look to her is the goddess Gaia. As she's finished, and you're looking as if this is you looking. You're holding up the blade in your hand, looking at it, swinging it back and forth as woo, 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 as it makes that sound as it moves. You hear it go, needs to be done. I know this is right. I will rip chaos from the realm. I'll save everyone. That's my job as the leader of the trees. And then you snap back into it. You take no damage due to your lineage of psychic damage, but you're now holding the blade in the piece of the blade in your hand.
And Horatio says, I'll be back. And he uses the item given to him by Judeus Sunfeld to go straight to the Corporis.
Okay.
The arcane gate there.
An arcane gate opens up and rips in through space and time. And Horatio, you step through it. The rest of you kind of holding your hands up, blocking the shining white light that comes as it pierces the sky, the air. Horatio, you step through, appearing at the entrance of the Corpus Arcana. Looking on, you see the entire castle is destroyed. There's no one here, nothing but ash and stone that's thrown everywhere. There's just rubble and rocks. Roll me a perception check.
Ooh. Okay. I would like to use my reroll from my Staff of Alsalar.
Sure. So a 9 turns into a
7.
All right. You look around. You're just trying to find where this is. Nothing speaks out. You have to spend some more time just looking around to find your destination. Everything seems to be in rubble.
I mean, I know the general layout of where it was at in the Corporis.
Yep, I will give you that. I will say, you know what? Roll one more time because of your keen mind. I will give you that.
Perception again?
Yes. We'll say those are your 2 advantage, and now this is your reroll.
Okay.
Because you have a keen mind, so you know where to look. Okay, no, never. 4.
Never mind.
No, you can't see it. You'll have to spend some time digging in there. Unless there's something else you're saying.
So in that time while he has to spend time digging, I'll look to Cal and I'll say, "Can you hold it? Do you need us to switch? I've sat there before, I can do it again."
I think I can make it. I just need Horatio to
Okay.
hurry.
I'll put my hands on his shoulders and I'll cast guidance, and also another cure wounds into Cal as well, try and help lessen the burden.
All right. Cal.
Could I, or instead of guidance, could I like help him? Because guidance is for checks and he's making saves.
You mean like that other spell that does that?
I don't have it. I don't have that.
Yes, you can aid him by.
Can I like aid him? Like, can I hold him or like touch him and take some of that mental burden?
You place your hands
Divine.
onto Cal, and as you do, your mind starts to, and you being as someone who's also sat upon the throne, your mind begins to meld into it. You start to see what he sees, but you feel some like a pain that Cal's been holding back, and it seems like that pain is now slowly coming upon to you as well, kind of melding in there. And you know, if you don't let go right now, whatever's happening to Cal, for better or for worse, would happen to you. Do you still remain holding on to him?
Yes, I'm gonna help him. Is it gonna give him advantage or something?
It'll give him
like
advantage.
if it helps
It'll
him.
give him advantage.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
High risk, high reward.
The moment Duran sees King grab him, he throws his sword to the ground and runs over and grabs not King's hand, but he grabs King's body with his whole body, try to shield him from the effects of it.
Okay. You begin to deep down, and since you are not arcane at all, you're just completely lost. You have no idea. Your mind is just adrift as you go on. You know, if you hold on any longer, if anything's happening to them, it will probably affect you even worse. Do you still remain hanging on to King?
Duran's not gonna let go.
All right. You jack into this strange web of arcane energy. Manaka, are you doing anything?
Yeah, Manaka's gonna go through the portal to help out Horatio find where to put that thing.
Okay. All right. It's still open. Well, it'll say at this point it'll be beginning to close. Like Horatio went through and they all went towards Duran. You looking over there instinctively go, and as the gate closes, enter in with Horatio. Horatio turning around, you hear like another step, and you notice that Monaco's there with you. But before that happens, I need Cal to roll me an intelligence saving throw at advantage.
There we go.
It helps them high numbers. This is the 3rd or 4th time. So.
Well, he's been at advantage, so maybe he'll.
23?
Maybe this will lower the DC. 19.
Rolled a 19.
Okay, you're right. He has been at advantage, so there would be no point. But I will change the DC due to the 2 of you putting in there. So a 23. All right. Just doing the math to see how much I'm going to give him minus 2 to the DC per person. So that is be a -4 the DC.
But I'm divine. I'm not worth 2 people.
No.
I have a god in me. Sorry, goddess.
The number you needed to beat this time was a 26, a 23, but -4 brings that 26 to a 22, allowing you to succeed.
Oh
So
my
you
gosh.
indeed hold on, and you do know that the number will rise past 26 if you continue. But
Does that mean I
um,
see further into the next layer?
Oh yes. So you're still holding up the Corpus Arcana. It's still being held up there. You're watching the battle that's happening with Thelos, and the undead forces are being pushed back further and further. The Thelosian army is winning. It seems like.
Is there any way
your
that
brain's
while I'm
not
doing this, I
spaghetti.
can influence that even further by like adding a little bit of extra radiance?
Oh yeah. Well, you notice that's what you have been doing. They've
Okay.
been winning because of your radiance, and it has been changed the tide from chaotic and the undead to more of a radiant, like almost like they've been breathing this in and slowly weakening and dying on the inside. The undead scourge. You do pierce through that veil that was downwards into the layer beneath, and going away from these twisting caverns, you break free into what you see is a strange, beautiful forest-like world. As your mind finally connects, hitting the ground, you instinctively feel a dark energy combined with the purest of light energy in a constant struggle. With this new foreign energy striking it, it seems to combine and coalesce together in a weird dance of energies, and you can feel your mind starting to get lost as this black dark energy and this bright energy start to battle each other, and you step in there, pushing the dark energy away as well, giving the light more force. Your mind kind of can see the world around you, and part of this forest was dying and decaying, while the other half was growing from being killed from whatever dark energy this is, and it slowly starts growing again. But it's a constant struggle. Creatures like fawns and deers and other types of woodland creatures were skeleton-like, and you see their skin come back on, and they become back to their normal beast self, no longer turn to these weird, undead, necrotic-like creatures that are running around. In it, you see, looking on in shock on top of trees, are strange elven creatures looking down and running away as this darkness is starting to push back against the light once again in a constant struggle. Right now, your mind is lost into that while you're experiencing everything else at the same time. Meanwhile, back in the Corporis Arcana, you now notice, Horatio, that Monaco's there with you.
Horatio smiles and says, We need to find the way. That there's too much rubble.
I wasn't gonna let you do this alone, and neither am I. And she holds up the little cage, and then she whispers to it, "Deja, show me." And she will invoke the soul cage to give her advantage on her next skill check.
Okay. The voice of Deja Vu hits you in your mind, and Horatio, you're able, still within this strange Archon-like perceptive mode of energy, at least. You can't see the energy of whatever you need to place it, but you can see the energy of chaos that's coming from Deja. And you both hear, "It's over there. The master says that the source is over there." Roll me a perception check at advantage.
Oh, a natural 20 for a 22.
You see it about 30 feet off towards your left. It's kind of glowing, and you're able to notice it. Pointing it out, Horatio, you kind of squint your eyes, and you're using the energy that you've achieved, at least during this battle, you're able to see a faint glimmer, like a little bright light showing you where you need to go. So what are you guys going to do? I'm assuming you're running towards it?
Yeah, Monaco will point out the little glimmer and say,
Horatio will say, "Let's go."
Okay. So, as you're running towards it, it doesn't take you very long, but you're able to make it there. Pushing off the rubble back and forth, you're able to see the strange arcane containment that you saw before that was within that runic room. It's still glowing, but albeit nowhere near as bright as it was before. And with your sight, Horatio, you're able to see the tendrils that Cal is controlling right now, kind of feeding the energy, the very little bit of energy, keeping this alive. But its true power source seems to be not where it needs to be.
Do I see where to insert the shard?
It just looks like a bright glowing energy, similar to the energy source that you saw. With your keen mind, I'll give this to you. Similar to the energy source that you saw in the Ice Crown. Like, it's just kind of that ball of energy.
Okay.
Whatever mechanism it was in before has been destroyed, but at least the actual core is there.
Okay, so I will grab the shard with the mage hand, and I will use the mage hand to insert the shard into that core.
All right, so using the mage hand, you push the shard into the core at the end of energy. As it does, the core begins to glow and hum, and both of you on the floating island feel the energy course out. It connects with the tendrils of arcane energy that is being controlled by Cal. You feel the connection link. No longer do you have to hold on to the floating island as its own energy spreads across, revitalizing it. Yes, the Corporis Arcana is destroyed, but the island itself is able to stay afloat, stay miles above, not crash down onto the ground. And immediately when that happens, Cal, you feel something snap. You hear a shattering sound of glass or something breaking, and the presence of the Morai kind of grazing upon your back, making your hand stand up. But if you decide to stay any longer, you can to pierce further in there, but you do know that it's going to get higher and higher, and the effects are well beyond any means that you can comprehend at this moment. What do you wish to do, Cal?
I think I can finally get up and get off of the chair.
Right. And in doing so, you get up. Cal, you stand up. King, you snap out of it as well, able to keep yourself afloat as you notice that your steel eye is holding on to you. You're finally back, and you notice that nothing has crashed, nothing has exploded, and the Corpora Arcana is still floating. You notice this as well, Monako and Horatio, although albeit you guys are separate.
I hope it was enough.
We're all right.
I hope it was enough.
We did it.
And King, as you're looking around and still being held, you're still being held tight by Duran, and like it's like tightly, and like you expect him to let him go, but Duran, you have no control of yourself right now. You're floating in the ether at this moment, but his body is still holding on tight to you, King.
I'll just be embraced.
Duran, it's fine. Everything's fine.
No
Duran.
response comes from Duran.
I stumble down next
what's
to them
wrong?
and try to pull Duran from King. King, what's wrong with him?
I don't know.
You're able to pull his grip off, and he comes off, but then you notice that he has full weight to him. He's kind of just stiff.
I'll put my hand on his cheek and try and look into his eyes.
They're blank.
Are you there? What happened?
And with you all looking on in shock, and in joy that you've defeated your enemy, but now seeing this new issue with Duran, we will end tonight's session.
Dramatic.
We just can't get a day off.
God
I
damn.
warned
What did you
if you
do?
kept
I
pushing.
looked down for a minute to look at my phone because we ordered food, and then you're his mind's blank, and I'm like, what? I looked away for 1 second. What happened?
Like
You looked at you knew it was gonna happen when you grabbed onto him.
Yo.
You did that? Oh my god, you mind blanked yourself.
Okay, well, we can fix this. All we have to do is get his soul inside his body, right?
Is it
Oh,
his
that's
soul
easy.
or his mind?
Is
It
his-
could be his mind is shattered. You know, it could be But
Who
Duran, you are
knows?
what you experience is just nothingness. You have no idea. You're literally just lost.
He had to do it. He had to
He's
do
still
it.
doing normal body function though.
Yeah, he's
right?
still breathing. He's still doing
and-
that, but it's almost like he's brain dead.
Oh, great.
As with the party now a new level, but with Duran possibly lost, though things sort of a victory, yes, but a sort of shallow victory. We will end tonight's session. Thank you so much for listening. Thank everyone for coming. We love you from the first chapter to the last page. Be kind to one another. Have hope, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
And always
Bye.
Thanks for
remember to
listening.
love your steel eye. Remember to love your steel eye.